Okay.
I got my notes.
How's my hair?
My hair's pretty tough too.
No, you're fucking thick, dude. This curse you had of fucking having gray hair is now turning into a blessing.
It's a total blessing.
At some point, I mean, you're going to have had gray anyway, and
Yes.
it's either gray or bald.
I used to try to do that as a bit where I was like, because Steve Martin looked old young,
And
but
now he
now
looks
that he's
young.
old, he looks young because he's always looked old.
It's like, oh, he's never ages.
Yeah. Wow, you just won't die.
Yeah.
You've been 85 years old since 1983.
Yeah.
Where you been and where you going? This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to You Be Trippin, the only podcast that takes you to places that you never ever wanted to go, where multiple diarrheas have happened through multiple guests. My guest today, I'm assuming you might have had diarrhea in this place, is Mike Cannon.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to my new podcast.
I've had diarrhea in the place I will discuss as well as earlier today.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's tough.
Dude, I got back from Southeast Asia, and Rogan's like, do you ever get diarrhea? I'm like, the whole time. The whole time.
Do you ever?
Mike, where are we going today?
We are going to Bali, which is the furthest place that I've ever traveled.
Really?
Yeah, by far. I mean, it was 24 hours in the air combined.
What?
It
What do
was
you mean combined?
like combined? So it was our
and back?
first flight was New York to Doha in Qatar, and then we had to stop there. It was like a 6-hour layover, maybe even less, and then we had to fly to Bali, Indonesia from there.
Yes, recording.
Nice.
Yeah, it's long. Dude, I had weed in my bag and in Doha, and they tell you like, well, he was like, I don't want to do that, but they're
Yeah.
like, hey, we're getting off. I'm like, oh, let me find a place to dump it before I get off. And then as soon as I get off, like, we're rushed. You got to get off. These 3 people, let them go first. And so I'm no time to dump the shit in the
my God.
edibles in the toilet
Yeah.
of the plane. And so then I'm like, and then I'm get off, like, come with me, and they go right through security. And it was just this moment of zen. I'm like, it's already happened.
Yep.
I'm either in jail 11 years from now, or I'm not.
Yeah, you're either Claire Danes.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's not. I'll just look back on this moment. Like, there was nothing to do.
Yeah, you just got caught. That's
Yeah.
like Brittany Griner. She had to have felt that in that moment when she was brought
Searching
into
her
that side room and just been like, I absolutely forgot a few cartons.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they're lenient considering the money I've brought to this country through basketball.
Yeah.
I guarantee they're not.
As long as the fucking woke public of America doesn't make a big stink of it, well, I'm just a women's basketball player. They'll let me out. As long as they don't make it into a thing where they have to trade the merchant of death for.
Do you think that she shaved her head into more of an Eddie Winslow flat top just to get even more favor with the LGBTQ?
It's possible.
America.
It's possible. It's Fitzsimmons' joke about it?
No.
Was they traded Brittany Griner for this guy called the Merchant of Death.
Yeah.
First WNBA trade I've ever heard of.
That's great. And
Yeah.
also extremely accurate.
Yeah. I did that in Ecuador too, coming back, and like we could take yourself to another room, searching everything.
Oof. And there's also, I mean, that's kind of like a victimless crime, I guess, because if they see a small thing, they'll think you had like a birthday announcement. And
But I
some
mean,
of
they
the
were doing
confetti
this.
came out
They
of
were
the
going like
envelope.
this too.
Oh, no
my
kidding.
stuff. I was like, damn. And
Whoa.
the same thing. I was like, it's done.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, I mean, I don't even mess with stuff like that. The joy I would get from being high, which I'll get to, because I mean, it's Middle East, so it's like and also in Bali in particular is like a heavily Muslim country.
Yeah.
So they're very
Oh, yeah.
conservative with their drug laws, and all we heard heading in there was like, you get like Aladdined if you get caught with a joint. Like your hand will get lopped off at the wrist.
Okay. Why Bali? What was the deal? Why'd you go there?
So I'm an idiot. I don't
Bali
know
rules.
a ton about other cultures. I don't know a ton about things even outside of my county. So my wife just kind of threw it out there as an idea, and just by the name, like Bali sounds like kind of Tahiti, tropical, Fiji, whatever.
It does sound really cool.
So I'm just like, Bali, hell yeah. I have no idea what it is. I don't know how far it is. That sounds
You were going to where
incredible.
Fiji is?
I'm like, there's
It does sound the
beaches.
same.
Yeah,
It
there's
does sound the
beaches.
same.
That's great. So I mean, that's like I had a bit about this, but like I'm deathly afraid of sharks in like
Yeah.
a weird kind of abnormal type way, since we live in New York and it's not a It's not an everyday
That's
fear.
abnormal.
Yeah, we get.
You're not a surfer.
There's enough to be fearful of within the walls of this city. You don't need to actually expand that to then sea life. But my wife sold it to me like, hey, it's going to be great. Like the food is unbelievable. The weather is really beautiful. She's like, there's like a huge infestation of sharks. That was the word she chose
In Bali?
to use. Yeah, she said infestation.
Wow.
Off the shores. Where like the water's warm, it's similar to Australia. It's not far away. It's great white country. Like, people get just consumed.
I look for a time when this is back to great white country.
That's right. That's right. Just a bunch of slow-moving killing machines.
Well, that's cool. So this is your honeymoon. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. How long did you go for?
We went for 2 weeks, which
Great.
that's the only thing that could make traveling that far worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, as a comic, you don't get this because you have this amazing brain of compartmentalization where you can just go away for months on end and not even think that your career and everything is leaving you behind. But like, if I'm gone for 72 hours, I feel like everything that I've ever built is disintegrating in front of me, and I get really panicky. So for me to leave for 2 weeks, that's like a huge, especially
Dude, when
at
I
that
went
point.
to Southeast Asia and went to Indonesia, I won't say my stuff. I'll just keep it on yours. But Joe List was like, "Aren't you afraid of like missing out?" And I was like, "Well, I just filmed a special. It's gonna come out when I get back. I have a TV show that I didn't know I was gonna be like blackmailed out of at the time. But I have a TV show. Like, what do you mean missing out on what?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." And it was just like comics have to rethink like what you're missing out on here.
Dude, you had COVID brain before COVID because you had that life is about more than this before we were locked inside. And that's such a, like, what do you feel like? Is there any part of you that feels kind of like I told you, idiots?
I mean, maybe. I mean, when Delta was kicking up,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, it might come back. I was like, fuck. And I was like, oh, Peru. Great. Great. Lock it all down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of my friends, you saw a lot of comedians get very successful during COVID.
Yes.
Buckle down. We might be drunk. All these podcasts.
Yeah,
It was
we
like,
tried.
Yeah, you tried. What's the scenario?
Here's
Failure.
who knows? It's over. The scenario is it's over.
Yeah. Oh, it's over now?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Chrissy Chaos out every Monday.
See him on Chrissy Chaos now. Fuck Sagalor and Feeney.
Yeah.
You're not even friends with them anymore. But what was it? Oh, but then they're like, "Oh, you could have buckled down." I'm like, "Or I could have lived in Ecuador for 6 months. I'll
Right.
never get to do that again.
Right.
What's your money gonna get you?"
Yeah.
I mean, cars.
Well, and then cars, sure. Homes,
Retirement,
pretty much any of
lack
your
of
all
worry,
of your needs
all of
taken
your needs
care
met,
of.
nice restaurants.
Yeah.
When
It
I
can
eat
do a
with
lot.
when I eat with Shane now, we went out to eat and the check comes and I just slide it to him. Like,
I mean,
obviously.
There's not a question. There are people like that now where I feel nothing with that. Like when I'm out to eat with Rosebud, I literally just throw
Yeah.
the check at her
Do
and
it.
I'm like,
Do it.
"Hey, you asked to be a powerful woman."
Yeah. Yeah. No, you got it.
This is what it is.
I'm like, it's like, I'm not even gonna say thank you.
Yeah.
Just do it. You're right there.
It's obligatory.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 weeks is a great amount of time.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
To me, it takes 12 days to settle in. Mm-hmm. But for 2 weeks, you can really do stuff. So what? Okay, so you land in Bali.
So yeah, we land in Bali, which the way out there, we had not even business class, not even like comfort plus. We had just normal because I mean it costs a lot to get out
Costs a
there.
lot.
And I was in the middle because this hammered Australian was next to us. Like we had a row of 3, and he was so drunk that actually him and I became friends, and we just started
nice.
like slamming. Like I was just ignoring my wife for the first leg of our honeymoon. I was just getting after it with this Australian guy. He ended up falling asleep on my shoulder at some point. And then we flew into the Ayana resort. That's where we stayed for the first 3 days. It's in the Jimbaran region. And dude, this is one of those things where if you travel that far, you almost have to have 3 days with like your own slaves to get past the sleep problems. That's what it was. It was
Ayana Resort, Bali.
5-star, like people not even giving you eye contact, but also asking you
Really?
what you need. Like
How sick is it to suddenly feel like a king?
Yes. They will nibble the dead skin off your heel if you ask them. Like it was that kind of like, but I don't know what it was because we went in September, so I'm not sure if that was their off season or what. But it wasn't like overly packed. There was definitely quite a few like honeymoon couples from America, because that's honeymoon time or wedding season for us. But it was like this place in particular was unreal. All like total amenities, infinity pools all over the place, private pools, your own spot. We got like couples massage, treat to everything. This was like where we truly balled out in a way that was like we couldn't in any other situation.
Wow.
This is like a honeymoon, like what you do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And how much did that cost?
I don't know. So all of this, we broke 100% even on our wedding, which is actually incredible.
What the fuck does that mean?
We spent probably, I would assume, like $50,000, like including parental stuff, what people kicked in, all that stuff. I would assume we had like a $50,000 wedding, something like that. Which,
with gifts,
which I'm against. Like I'm against spending that much money for just a party. Like
seems stupid.
Yeah, unless you have that kind of fuck you money where you're not expecting any return, and it's just
let's put on something.
Yeah, but I was like, why don't we just do like a backyard thing? We'll put this towards a home, or just have money for us 100%. To like kind of bum around with.
100%.
But the idea of throwing a big wedding is so you then can have a big honeymoon, and that wedding funded our honeymoon, so it was like completely worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This right here, Kuta Lombok, is the worst place on earth.
No kidding.
Not the worst place on earth. Worst place in Bali for sure. That's where all the tourists are. It gets so overwhelmed. Beautiful beaches.
Yeah. So, because we went,
so you went right past it instead of going north. You went right past it. Went down this way over to here.
Yeah. So the three places we went there. Then we went to Ubud.
Yeah.
Then we went to the Gili Islands.
Oh, interesting.
Which I'll tell you all about as we get in. So, I mean, this, again, like, I don't really even remember a lot from the 3 days at this resort, because all it was like laying down and being fed grapes, and almost like, people would like rub sunblock on your stomach if you asked them.
Really?
Like, it was that.
Wait,
but
are you exaggerating?
I saw people being helped like with sunblock on their back. I don't like getting touched, so I didn't ask that. But I 100% watch people that work there apply sunblock on people.
I have this new theory when people are like, come on, I'm a hugger, come on. I'm like, well, I'm completely not. That's painful to me. You're asking me to put myself in pain because you're a hugger.
It's social.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so uncomfortable.
I'm a hugger, therefore you must consent.
Yeah. Well, how about that? Hi, guys. Ari Shaffir here, and I got to tell you a little bit about Mike Cannon, the comedian on today's podcast. He's a great comic. He's worked with me in multiple places. Lastly did a show with me and Renazizi raising money for our World Series tickets, because we're as successful as we've been. Renazizi was on a show for 10 years. I've had the coolest stand-up comedy show of all time. This is not happening, and we couldn't afford even 300s. Here's my impression of a Yankee second baseman, fielding a relay. We thought, man on second base, hey, here we go, oops. Fucking get rid of Glaber. Anyway, Mike Cannon's great. He's got a new special out right now on YouTube called Traumatized Animal. We're in a glorious year of stand-up comedy where everyone can release their specials however they want. It's on Christie's YouTube channel. That's another thing we're doing in stand-up comedy, which is supporting each other. You might have heard of a few knuckleheads going against each other, but for the most part, and I mean high 90%, we're all supporting each other. We're all saying, you're funny, let me help you. You're funny, let me help you. Oh, you want to help me? I'm funny? Oh, thanks. That's the reality of the world. Any other report has been misinterpreted. Here's where Mike Cannon is on the road. December, Stanford and Point Pleasant and Houston. January, got Pottstown, PA. LA at the Comedy Store, my home. 19th, Pasadena. And then Baltimore, Maryland. And then in April, Toronto at the Comedy Bar. Seattle, Chandler, and Boston in June. For myself, the farewell tour is on sale now. Some shows are already sold out. Province, Bandit, what do you do? Austin's already sold out, and Providence is already sold out. But I got Tahoe, December 21st. If you're around there, Bally's for Christmas time, come check me out. Pittsburgh, Providence, Salt Lake City, Brea, Nashville, San Antonio, Tampa, Denver's a greatest hit show, Schaumburg, Illinois, Atlanta at the Tabernacle where Rogan recorded a special. I love stand-up. Portland, San Jose, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and then big theaters in April, Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, finishing it off at Anchorage, Alaska in June 18th. And that's it. That's it for me. If you're living in any of these cities, I'm off the road until 2027. I won't be back in any of these cities till, 2029, except Denver and Austin. Adrian Appalucci, the Dark Queen, her special is out now. I guess produced it. I need a better word than produced. You got any suggestions? I just help her make it. It's deeper than that. I go over the material. We talk about directors and why Louis C.K. directed it, and you can tell the guy's a fucking auteur. She'll be opening for me in Pittsburgh, Providence, Nashville, Schaumburg, Atlanta, and Portland. And then maybe whatever. Guys, that's it. We've got to work on, well, let's get back to the episode. I'll tell you, stay tuned to the end of this. Because it's coming up at the end of the year, guys, and we need nominations. We need nominations for Guest of the Year. The Trippy Awards are coming. Leave in the comments your top 5 episodes, maybe even top 10. And we'll cull them from there. Top 10 episodes in order. We'll get the nominations from that. Top 10 guests, if you want. And then let's say top 5 places you want us to go. And that'll be the Trippy Awards. And also, leave in the comments on YouTube any other Trippy Awards you think might be a good award. Best guest, best trip. It's going to be hand in hand with best guest, right? And then places we want to go in this podcast, or you just want to go in general. Guys, I'm Ari Shaffir. Let's get back to the episode. Mike Hanna, go to Indonesia. Guys, Bali was fucking sick when I was there, and it's sick when Mike's talking about it. It's really just cathartic. It's amazing. Bandit. Oh, come. I got him. Watch her run. Oh, Bandit, I'm hurt. Really? Bro. Bandit! Come. Damn, bro. Nothing. Okay, back to the episode.
What was your jet lag like when you went to Indonesia?
Oh, well, I came from over there.
Okay.
I came from, was it Thailand? Mm-hmm. Or was it Cambodia?
Oh, okay. So you were
either
used
way.
to
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Because I have never.
But in Myanmar, I never had it. That's my first place. I didn't get it. I get it sometimes coming back. I don't really get it going over.
Dude, I've never experienced anything like this. When we first got there, like we set up a dinner reservation.
Yeah.
I was like sitting at this dinner place, which again, on this 5-star resort, like unbelievable food that I'll never have again in my entire life. And I'm like falling asleep at the table, trying my best physical effort to stay upright.
That's crazy also because it's way earlier.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know.
I guess it's like 12 hours.
I did so our wedding was on the 10th. We did a wedding in the Catskills, which I would highly recommend if you want to have like a fun, non-traditional, non-religious
some
thing.
1960s style comedy,
dude. You want to hire a bunch of one-liners. I mean, it basically was. We did kind of get married at the camp that Dirty Dancing was filmed at.
No way, really?
It felt like that. Like we picked it based on like where would we want to do mushrooms?
Yeah.
If this was that kind of event, it's this place called Full Moon. Awesome. We had a party the night before, party on the wedding day. Sunday we all came home, watched the Giants season opener against the Cowboys, and then on the 12th,
that was this year. Yeah.
On the 12th we flew out.
Wow.
It was like all this alcohol, all this partying, all this lack of sleep kind of culminating in then 24 hours in the air and us landing in Bali and me feeling like I was being pulled under the earth to try to keep my eyes open.
You really gotta plan it, I guess. It's like, go, hey, I'm gonna be real tired. I'm gonna try to not sleep on the plane or sleep a little on the plane. Mm-hmm. But even then, even when you're like, I'm dead tired at 5 p.m., I gotta stay up till 10. If I stay up till 10, that means I'll wake up at 6, 6, 7, ready to go. And you fight it, you stay up till 10, you're like, okay, now I'm going to bed. And then at 2 a.m., you're just like, oh, wide awake. And you're like, what the fuck?
Your internal clock.
No.
I also get this thing where, I don't know if you do, where this might also be like a combination of being a comic and a parent, is that sometimes when I stay awake for too long, that's it. I'm never going to bed. Like there's just, it's like impossible for me to settle into a mode where I can then rest my body because I've pushed through all the exhaustion and flags of my body telling me to rest and go down. And I'm like, whatever, I guess I'm up and this is it.
I want to see the price of this Ayana resort.
Yeah.
$237 a night.
Oh, imagine it sucks and I just thought it was sick.
No, I mean but it's just cheap shit there.
Yeah,
it's just cheaper there. $237 a night is unbelievable.
That's unreal. You couldn't find that. That's like a road Hilton.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
That's unreal.
And that's like
This is in
hella.
2016 though, also. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the
Right.
with the pricing or what. But I mean, even pull up some of the pictures because so when we oh no, we didn't do any of the thing there. So we stayed there for 3 nights,
Yeah.
and that was a pure.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that, dude.
God damn. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, these
Wow.
like, doesn't it look like Forgetting Sarah Marshall? But in
Wow.
Bali?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Infinity pool to infinity pool to ocean.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep.
What the who the gall to make a double infinity pool. The fucking gall. How dare you? Oh, you got a mirror with a light on it?
Yeah. I saw every nose hair.
Oh, this looks gorgeous.
Yeah, dude. It was
wow. With the
and
damn,
going
dude,
out and
I'm
this
already
is
so
I'm
jealous.
glad that I
I'm
didn't
so
quit
fucking
drinking
jealous.
until like well after my honeymoon because I'm glad that I really like let it rip for this and drank as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Because even like see those sun decks over there from the beach where you can walk up those steps and then there's like a little deck area like
What?
Just,
Up here?
Yeah, those structure up there. Like even when you got to like chill out right on the water right there and just look out at that little small landmass and beyond into the water and you could see dolphins jump.
No.
It is like there were numerous times, and I don't know if you feel this way, but like when I'm in a place like this, I couldn't feel less.
Oh, all these too?
Yeah.
Well, you can feel less what? Sorry.
like I belong. Like I don't feel deserving. I don't feel like I belong. I have to make constant jokes about how I don't like this isn't
This
right.
is not me. I'm not this guy. I know,
exactly.
right? Whenever I get bumped up to first class, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm just faking it.
And my wife like made me actually take a code of shut the fuck up after the first day because she's like, you're bumming me out by telling me how much we don't
I'm a
deserve
piece of
this."
shit.
Yeah, she's like, can we just
It's a
like
honeymoon. It's not your normal fucking
know.
stop layover.
I know, but even
Damn.
that takes
It's
a
a
lot.
golf
but-
course?
Oh, I guess so. I don't even think we even went on that.
Yeah, why would you? You don't play golf. It might just be grounds.
But it was, dude. I mean,
Damn, gorgeous.
this whole place. It is the perfect like.
So
if,
how long did you stay there for?
3 nights.
Okay.
And that was like to me the best like transition from dead like exhaustion from travel, wedding, fully be pampered, do the whole honeymoon thing, no exploring, just rest and relaxation and fuck. And then after that we went to Bambu Indah in Ubud, which so it's probably on the internet again, but my wife sent me all of these like our shared folder from Bali, and half of the pictures are of a decomposed kitten that we found. Yeah, but it's alive, so that's cool.
okay.
Yeah, Bambu Indah in Ubud, by far the best food that we've ever had. Like still to this day,
What food? What'd you get?
So but it was like normal shit, like fish, vegetables, like nothing actually crazy in terms of cuisine that you like, like roach cock or anything. Like nothing.
Right.
I didn't
No,
even
it's not
mean
that.
to flip those words, but it's just like the freshest fish, the freshest vegetate. Like everything just tasted so good. And you didn't put on any weight. You could eat like shit. And it was
all
totally
pretty
fine.
fucking great.
Yes.
It's all not you ever have this? Beef rendang? I had it in
Yeah.
Ubud.
Oh,
for the
totally.
First time.
Yeah.
So I saw a Time magazine for somewhere. I saw a Time magazine best 50 foods. Mm-hmm. Pizza was like 8. Mm-hmm. Pasta, whatever, all these different things. Not like Thai food. It was
Right.
whatever. Beef rendang was number 1. And
No
I was
shit.
like, oh, when I go out there, I gotta find it. And I was kind of like, well, I haven't seen it. And
Right.
then in Ubud, I was like, oh, they have that beef rendang. I'll try it. It blows you out of the fucking water. It's so savory and
Yes.
just like, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, I can kind of taste it a little bit if I put my head there.
It's so fucking good, and you can get it. Okay, well, I'll ask more. Go ahead.
That might have actually been the gayest centralized sentence I've ever said in my entire life. I can actually taste it if I put my head there. But yeah, that was like. So that was unreal. The entire place is made out of bamboo. That's why it's called Bambu Indah.
Do you have pictures of this?
No, this is online. Sorry. It's like
okay.
I'm looking through all of my stuff. I have
okay.
I do have pictures of this. I have a picture of me in, not this one. I have it in, here's me in the Bambu Indah thing, and I'm shitting.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's it from the outside.
Wow.
And my wife
Wait, that's where you stayed?
that's where we stayed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
An open air shit.
Yeah, an open
is the
air
greatest shit. Oh, you got a little emoji there?
Dude, in open air shit, there's really not much that I've never experienced that before. I don't know if I've done it since, but there is a freedom as well as like solitude in that you can't like.
You're on your phone there? Zoom in there.
Yeah, I am. I'm
You
definitely
are.
on my phone.
Fucking, you should just be taking it in. No, you're just missing it all. You're just missing it all going on fucking Instagram.
Probably checking my likes. Just like a
Of a picture you just posted of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, let me see if people are responding.
And then so we're there. We do at Bambu Indah.
What?
I'm gonna pull up all this stuff. So we did our first night there. We did this thing called the War of the Gods ceremony.
I don't know anything
Which
about
again, it's like this was all set up by the Bambu Indah Resort. So this could very well be like some real white people shit that they just like give to tourists. That is a small part of their culture that they don't really care about, but they've just built it up to have something to do.
Let's talk about that for 1 second.
Yeah.
These tourist experiences. Mm-hmm. I'm torn a little back and forth between like it's so lame or it's like I don't care. I'll do a luau in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They don't do this anymore, but it's like I don't know. It's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah. I think it was both. So the thing I'm very emotional and sensitive to certain things. So like whether or not this is a placebo or real, I can buy in. Right. I can kind of really like this, and this was this was our outfits for it.
That's how I went like minor league baseball.
Yeah, wow. This is literally how.
Wait, they made you do that?
Yeah, we had to put the whole thing on. Let me see.
I love it. Dive in.
Yeah, my wife and I. This was us at the ceremony. We had to put rice on our forehead.
What?
This was the entire thing that they laid out to all of us.
So you eat on the ground there.
Yeah. So
look at that backdrop.
So you had
look at that scenery.
You don't even understand the backdrop of this bamboo thing of the Bamboo Resort. It's over these rice paddies, right? And it's elevated. So all you see is just down this crazy cliff and beautiful, almost like Jurassic Park looking tropical ravine. And then in the distance are all these rice paddies. And then you hear these animals that are from a different world. Like being from New York, we hear pigeons beeping, all this shit like all the time, but you don't hear those screams like it's a diplodocus in the distance.
Monkeys.
Yeah, just like all these birds that kind of didn't really look like birds. They looked like a bat bird hybrid. Like they were like these sleek animals that were dive bombing at 390 miles per hour.
Wow.
It was just like it was so cool, and that experience, like the War of God ceremony, was like again. Each time served its purpose, right? Where the first place that we went to was a decompress. We just got married. Let's get pampered and enjoy this. The next one was kind of like, hey, let's get to know Bali a little bit. Let's check out the culture. Let's let's green light literally everything. Because they asked us initially if we wanted to do the War of the Gods, and like half the couples were like, no, like I'm
not upselling this.
Yeah, no interest, whatever. It didn't even cost anything. We just joined, and we were like, yeah, we're here in Bali, man. Let's do everything that we can.
That's so smart.
To do what, And so we did that, and that was really beautiful. We had, I, of course, had some sort of spiritual awakening, which whether or not it was real is
what do you mean?
Again, I'm so sensitive and in search of this shit that if I put myself in the position to fully believe in your ceremony, I'll talk to God.
Wait, what is it? What do you do at the ceremony?
So deep breaths, putting yourself like it was kind
of.
Yeah, you don't. Why would I keep saying that? They're guiding you through this thing. So each thing is like it's like any other religious thing of like put this here, take in a breath, set your intentions into this, and it was all very like not churchy, which I'm used to. It was all kind of like feel who you are as a human being. You're not paying any penance. You're not like nobody's mad at you. It's just kind of a religion for you or a ceremony for you to feel good and shake off some of the bad shit that you've been feeling and welcome in this new perspective and experience.
Whoa. How long did it last?
Probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then we did this thing.
Did your chick like it too?
She loved it, yeah. And then as part of it, and I think it was that exact night, it was a continuation of the ceremony, we went into like the town of Ubud, the main place, and we walked around, and people, like this was not a part of the resort. They just took us into this place where they were also having the ceremony. And the
Wait, another ceremony.
similar to War of the Gods, or it was the same like holiday.
Yeah.
But they were doing a continuation where it's like, okay, that was part 1 of the ceremony. Part 2 is in the town square where everybody gets together.
Locals.
And the locals, they do this whole thing where they were fighting a dragon that they were like dressed up as. There was almost a riot. Like we got pushed up against concrete walls at one point because people were like acting out this killing of a dragon and of a god and all this stuff. And it got to the point where I like had to put my wife behind me and have a hard shell basically around her to protect her because people were like running and bumping into each other so much. It was nuts.
Hi, guys. Today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by Mando.com. It's great deodorant that makes you smell fresher longer. I was just in Cuba with Robert Kelly. It's hot. And Bobby, even though he thinks he lost a lot of weight, still has a lot on him. And he stunk. He doesn't use Mando. I did, so I didn't stink. You see the difference? No using Mando, smelled bad. Using Mando, me, smelled great. 72-hour protection. That means if you forget or if you say, hey, I'm going to go to the supermarket, but there's a hurricane suddenly. Yeah, a hurricane hit you and you can't go to the supermarket. Don't worry about it. You get 72-hour protection from Mando. It's clinically proven. Have you ever proven anything clinically? Mando has. It's perfect for long days at the game or the bar. Safe for the whole body. Pits, package, feet, and everywhere in between. Yeah. Even after those tailgate sprints to the restroom. Stops odor before it starts. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers or to secure some last-minute stocking stuffers. It doesn't help with the cough. But I smell great. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Luckily, I got a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with my exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code TRIPPIN at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support my show and tell them we sent you. Don't let BO keep you on the bench. Smell better naked with Mando. Guys, it's the holiday season. I got a good gift for you. Legitimately good gift for you. This is not going to sound like an ad read because my mom has one of these and it's great. It's a picture frame from Skylight Frames. It's a picture frame and you just upload pictures to it. So now your mom's like, how come you don't tell me where you're going? How come I can't go with you? Because I don't want you to go with me. Obviously, I'm off with my friends. I'm doing fun stuff. You can't be there, but they want to be part of your life. So you take a picture, you upload it to the frame that they have in their home, and then suddenly it's like you already posted a picture. Now, no more making room for the 30 grandkids they have when you have one picture of you and 7,000 of the grandkids. No, you just send one. It comes right up in the frame. Scrolls, does whatever. It's awesome. She has one. She loves it. I can upload straight from my phone, from email. It's pretty great. Seamless sharing. You can invite friends and family easily to share photos via the Skylight mobile app or email. No account or subscription required. Yeah, it's a good gift, guys. It's better than social media. I mean, it's a great private way to share photos without posting it to the world. Or you have to print hard copies, and it looks like a hard copy. It's great. Satisfaction guaranteed. They're so confident you're going to love Skylight, they offer a free 120-day return. What? It's 4 months. Top-rated brand. Over 1 million happy customers. My mom's one of them. Thousands of 5-star reviews and available in over 30 countries. Recommended by the Today Show, Forbes, New York Magazine, and me. And now is a special limited-time offer for my listeners. Get $20 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/trippin. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/trippin. Get $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/trippin.
But I'll never forget how genuinely kind and welcoming the people of Bali were, because they were like, they just saw us walking around, no money, no nothing, invited us into their homes, asked us to check out how they lived, offered food, we didn't speak the same language. We had an assigned driver. I forget his full name, but like all of their names start with Iwayan and then something. And he was a really good guy. You just pay him like however much it is for the week, and he's your driver. He takes you everywhere. Whoa. And so he took us to this ceremony. We go there. People are inviting us into their homes. They're like giving us food. They have nothing, and they're just giving us food off of like, you know, their small open
and you were
flame.
eating it?
Yeah, eating it, spitting it out, just being like, this is awful.
Did you have any hesitation? Do you have any like, should I pay you for this?
I did. Yeah, I offered money, and they said no. It was like, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's it's like a real, I don't know. Again, like this is stuff that I'm very sensitive to, and I I have a lot of utopic views about how people could possibly get along together, and those moments are what kind of keep those going, because those people they didn't know me. I'm a guy from America. They technically shouldn't even be a fan of us.
You know, that
I
Abrahamic idea that you're supposed to invite travelers in.
Yeah,
it's like one of the godly things to do. Is
exactly.
Traveler, like they need help.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just like it just so warm and welcoming, and how they guided us and how they spoke to us, and like we went through. I mean, that was a full day event where we went to the middle of this town and just kind of like checked out, like walked down by a ravine. We ate chicken with our hands by like a river.
What do you mean?
Like
you do this thing?
Yeah. The T-Rex scoop, and then you have to eat it.
Scoop it and then shove it out with a thumb.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know.
That's their fork.
Yeah,
they go like this, and then the first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was with another traveler, and she was like, "Oh, that's what."
You don't know the hand fork?
Yeah. And then I saw everyone doing it. I was like, and that's why they have those little dishes of water.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you can go like that or before.
Mm-hmm. And they had
like
lemon
rose
and
water.
shit. They had lemon. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous now. It's reminding me of this place.
It was really, I mean, that was really cool, because the whole ceremony took us down by a thing. I have this picture with these kids. This is a part of it too, where this is, again, us dressed up with all of these kids in a bud for the God of War ceremony. And again, these kids.
Look at this.
Like,
wow.
They don't know us.
Is that the Sufi?
It looks like a Sufi. But
they're all kind of doing it.
But isn't that like, so again, to me, somebody who has never traveled this far, right? Yeah. You are more versed in terms of other cultures and how they react and how they see Americans. But it's like, even me as somebody like with a kid now, it's like kids are kids everywhere. Like, these just look like kids.
Yeah. They play soccer a lot, right?
Exactly. Yeah, of course.
So here's a couple things I'll notice about travel in general. You picture like Indonesia. What are they going to be like? Like t-shirts? Mm-hmm. Just t-shirts. That's a Zijan, whatever. Like that's a drums, whatever.
Pokemon
that's
right behind me.
Yeah. When I was in Ecuador, it's all TikTok shit. Mm-hmm. And you want them to look like you're dressed here.
Yeah.
But you're like, that's just not what we do. The shit was made here.
Yeah.
We're going to siphon off a few from the factory. It was literally made in Indonesia. Like, not even in a similar country.
That is a great point. But it is fun. It's like you would see these kids in the Bronx, like literally anywhere.
What do they do with your wife?
They were nice to her. They were more making fun of me, actually. They were saying, I forget what they were saying, because this was 7 years ago at this point, but they were like saying one particular word, and then they'd run away and laugh.
Bulai?
That kind of sounds right.
Yeah, I think Farang. No, that's Thai. I think it means foreigner. Bulai.
Yeah.
Bulai. Yeah,
it was. I asked our driver, and he said something about like kind of like white man.
White.
Or, yeah.
It's all. They're all pretty much saying white.
Yeah.
And every one of those countries, it's white or foreigner. Some is actually the term white.
Yeah.
And they're just like white, and it says sort of okay. I was on a shuttle once from in Indonesia to East Timor, and everybody who got on was like, looks back and like, whatever, bulai, whatever. And it's fine. By the one person was like, oh, bulai. I'm like, bulai, bulai, bulai. I fucking, like, I hear you already. I know it's derogatory. I know.
Did they laugh at that, or at least appreciate that you picked up on it?
Like, yeah. They stopped saying it after that.
But that's what's crazy is like, so these kids, like, you know, they almost look like they grew up in apartments like anybody else, or a house.
Yeah.
But you go to their homes, and their houses, like, you ever see those? I mean, they kind of look like these kids, but those like little Mayan dudes that build like huts out of mud and sticks in the middle of the woods in TikTok, and it's like this sped up like.
Yeah.
Like an ASMR of them building it. It's like that's what their homes looked like, except worse. Like they were they looked like they were hit by like shell missiles or something. Like half of the roof would be gone, part of the walls would fall off, but they'd still just invite you in and be like, "Hey, do you want to sleep over?" Like it was that level of welcoming.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That was touching. Like genuinely touching shit. And this is
kids are the best in these places.
Yes,
they really like a high five to one of those kids, and they fucking mix it. They want to take pictures of you and your wife.
Yeah. Oh, totally. There is 3 or 4 huts in Bali that are just littered with pictures of my wife.
A white woman is like, dude, that's a fucking sick pic.
Yeah, some kid
gotta
is
get that.
Absolutely cranking it to that. So we go and do that, and that's like. Again, a beautiful kind of like, wow, we really made the right decision coming here. Like this is something special. And the the next day, oh, actually, to continue the spiritual shit, we then went to a bunch of like these temples, right? Where this was which, by the way, look at that zoom in. You see that right behind my head?
Oh, you're having a moment. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
They're
I know.
Everywhere. So it's interesting. I am
deeper.
having a
Go closer.
genuine moment. My wife caught me in a fucking really embarrassing.
What a homo.
Just me touching my heart, feeling close to the gods of Bali.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's pagan swastikas everywhere.
Go in deeper. I want to show two things. One, it's a reverse swastika. It's not the right direction, I think.
Yes.
Is that true though?
No, you are right. I think
they're everywhere. It's so shocking. They're on the manhole covers.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a good luck thing, which is crazy. That might have been the second worst thing Hitler did was taking away a good luck sign and making it into a horrible sign.
That's what's funny is like, yeah, you want to tell a guy from Texas that the gays didn't ruin the rainbow entirely. It's like
still
Hitler,
nice.
Hitler did worse to the swastika.
And then look at that thing behind you and on the other one. Do you know what those are?
It's like a gift to the god, right?
Yeah, they put them out at like either daily or weekly or monthly. I don't know, but then they burn them and then kind of like leave them there.
So this was kind of intense this day. So we went right from, I think this was the next day where we went into this, and my wife actually got her period. And on I mean, this is like full muzzy country. So they are like, they're like, if you're a woman with your period, just go to the mountains and don't come back until you're eaten by a wolf.
Look, you really are having a fucking moment. What a
so
fucking dork. What a dork. What a dork. Oh my God. You're really fucking soaking it in. Dude, nobody makes up their own religions like white people. you're just like creating all these rules of your new God. I can soak it in. Oh my God. And they'll be like, this was the God of fucking pillaging.
Dude, that is 100% real. I am creating the God of my father. Like, I'm picking from the buffet to actually have a dad that loves me.
Wearing a long day shirt. What is that?
No, it's that like legalized weed, like just a total asshole in the middle of Bali.
Yeah.
Just so, but this again, it's like I can convince myself that this is real, that these waters have some sort of healing thing, and they may not. But it's one of those things where when I came out of that water and touched my heart, that is as sincere as I've ever been.
Your heart. It really is. And you're freshly married too.
Freshly
so you
married.
Got all this, like...
With a swastika behind my head.
It all makes sense now.
Having a real moment with a swastika behind your head is that's peak white. So yeah, we definitely, I mean, we had to like, hide the fact that my wife was going through her period at this point. I mean, not that anyone would know, but she couldn't go in the water. Like, she had to just kind of like just survey the scene from the outside.
The gods will be angry.
The gods will be livid. So that whole thing
Can I see that picture one more time?
Oh yeah.
It's so great. Look at how dork you are. You really are standing straight up too. The other hand is like,
yeah. I'm like breathing in a little bit of water there.
oh my God.
Dude.
And you still got your shirt on like a fat dude.
I know. Well, I wasn't in. I was drinking, so my my shoulders look kind of okay in that picture, which I'm happy about. But there is a true slop mess in my torso. So we do that.
Okay.
That's amazing. We after we're done with that, we go get
What's
lunch.
the caption? Let me see the caption. I gotta see all this.
Oh no!
What's your Instagram?
I didn't even read this.
What's your Instagram?
I am Mike Cannon.
Guys, everyone listening. Obliterate this with fucking obliterate it with comments.
It's back in September of 2016, so you're gonna have to do some scrolling. But it's the face you make after being blessed at Pura Tirtha and Pool, the water temple in Ubud.
Wow.
Yeah. So Just as embarrassing as it gets, you know? Really manufacturing a moment for myself.
Okay. We can move on now.
So I think also the driver thought I was lame after this because, like, after he saw, you know, the impact emotionally and spiritually that this had on me, he was like, all right, so in a way to cleanse both of us from this, he's like, do you guys want to see cockfighting? And we were like, yeah. Well, my wife was like, no. And I said, yes. And she was like, what do you mean?
It's one of those 80s sitcoms where you're like, no, yes, wait, what?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I turned to her and I was like,
Wow.
I was like,
cockfighting
we are
there?
never, like, this is not a sanctioned United States event.
Nope.
We're never going to be able to see this in any other capacity. Again, if we're here to see all of Bali and what the
Let's see
culture
it.
does,
Let's see the
this
culture.
is part of it.
Yeah, 100%. I love that.
And the guy said, he was like, this is the culture. And the fact that it's the War of God ceremony is the reason these cockfights are having, because these chickens would be cooked. Reason these cockfights are happening because these chickens would be cooked anyway, roosters.
Yeah.
And they would, so they're basically sacrificing themselves through entertainment, through some
The one I
sports
went to,
betting.
they told me that the owner of the winner gets to eat the loser. Like, you go home with it.
That's sick.
Everyone's gambling on it, but that's their,
Yeah.
you know.
I think this was more for the town or their
interesting.
village
You have
because
pictures
it
of
was
this?
such a big thing. No, they wouldn't let us. So I tried to take out my phone for this, and they're like, just nah. Like, the driver was like, don't do that, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But I hadn't smoked cigarettes in probably like 5 years at this point, but every Balinese man was in full catcher's position ripping butts, and boy, I joined them.
Wow.
Dude, I like wore out the rest of my MCL like just being in
Just
position
crouching?
with them, just ripping butts. I was so bad at picking winning cocks that they started waiting for me to place my bet so they could bet against me. And the thing I didn't know about cockfighting is they tie a blade to their ankle. And they had a whole binder, like almost a CD binder of blades on velvet. It was awesome.
Dude, I saw the same thing in East Timor, which is kind of Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go through it with like a CD case and like looking at which blade to get. And they're like making this, everyone's crouched around them. Yeah. Well, you tell me your experience.
No, that's exactly it, where they were like trying to fit it perfect to the bird and like to the proportion and stuff like that. So they'd tie it up.
They get one, right?
They get one, yeah. My wife is horrified. Like, I wish I actually could have had a camera
Film
just
her.
on her the
Like,
entire
guys,
time.
Not that. Just my wife's disgusted by your whole
Your
thing.
whole thing here. But then she warmed up and actually started like taking our regular camera, because they said we couldn't have cell phones, but then we could have our regular camera. I just remembered that. So when my wife had our regular camera, which I don't know where the fuck those pictures are. I'll if I find those pictures, I'll get them to you.
Send them.
But she definitely could take a regular camera and was taking pics and stuff like that, because it started raining and we had to come under the fight canopy, and it was this whole thing. But the first roosters that we saw had their things tied up. They immediately went and they both killed each other. In what, like, they went boom, boom, boom. They both dropped dead instantly.
That was the first fight?
That was the first fight we watched, and I was like, oh, like, couldn't believe it. So fired up. My wife's like half throwing up. All the Balinese guys are like losing their minds. I'm taking out 6.5 million rubles or whatever, because that's
What's our currency? Do you remember?
I think it is rubles.
Rubles?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, or rupees or something like
It
that.
might be rupees.
But
Might be India. Yeah.
yeah, but it was definitely just, it's way more than what so it's like, you put in 1,000, then you get like 8 million or something like that, and you're like, I'm fucking rich. This is sick.
How much was the betting? Not much.
No, it was like, I think like 1,000 rupees or something, like rubies each time. Like
how much American would that
I
be?
overbet a couple times, and they were like, you
one
don't
can
have
match
to you don't have to do this. Yeah, like what are you doing?
to
And I was
do
like,
that. You're
it's
having
fine.
fun.
Like, I just didn't know what was going on, so I'm like half throwing money at dumb shit. Like, it's probably an easy. way
And
to
what do
get
you do? You
robbed.
just go, hey, I got two on
That
the
one.
white one, two
Yeah.
on the white one, and someone goes, I'll take that.
Yes, it was one guy collecting. So there was no odds or anything like that. It was just kind of like you'd get
1 to
paid
1.
out. There
Yeah.
has to 1-to-1. So I didn't win a single solitary bet the entire time. Like, literally 0 for, and I think we bet like 20.
Wow.
And I went 0 for 20 on
Would you
every.
lose like $50?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah,
but
totally
it was
fine.
It was like, it was so cool.
Good way to put money in the community.
Yeah, exactly. I did
without
feel
charity.
I did feel like I was kind of giving back to them on some level. I'm trying to figure out what the next thing is that we did. Yeah. So then we So we get done with the cockfighting, and this guy, he like continues to take us around. I mean, I don't know if you shopped there. Did you do any of that?
For like what?
Like any of the tourist shit of like any kind of souvenir or whatever.
I had just a backpack. So anything I bought, I'd have to jettison something.
Yeah.
So I was pretty free of the need to do that.
I mean, this makes like Crown Heights Jews who are looking to see if you're a Jew seem like the most polite humans on planet Earth.
Why?
They are so up in your face, physical with you, literally pulling you into a thing where you have to kind of forcefully create space and be like, absolutely not, like get off of my body, like that type of shit. And they get most people because people are just like, honey, this is so exciting, like as they're dragged into a hut, and then they spend God knows however many on a clay item.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was like,
where was that, in Ubud?
That was in Ubud. Yeah. That was high octane. Just
how was your bowels the whole time here?
When we were at the bamboo place, really good. So I have a thing where if I fly anywhere over 5 hours, I can't shit for a couple days, and it's a problem. Like
Probably served you here,
huh?
Probably served you well here.
It's terrible.
Okay.
No, it's a problem, dude. If I fly to
a couple days,
if I fly, like I flew to San Francisco years ago to visit my mother, and I couldn't shit for 4 days.
What?
And I drank a full bottle of aloe. Like that's supposed to be like that's supposed to like make you. It's almost like doing a bump of coke. It's supposed to actually flush your system, and I still didn't shit.
Whoa!
It was just a calcified ball blocking my entire asshole.
Damn.
Where did you just go?
I want to see if I have anything from Indonesia here. I don't think I do.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I think I bought like a Christmas ornament that broke. Like I when you said like bring some souvenirs, I was like, truly nothing has lasted the test of time.
Cockfights in East Timor.
Oh, that's awesome.
Some guy had that, and I've been searching for it forever. A fan sent it to me. It doesn't fit me though, so I can put it up here.
That is very cool. Yeah, I'm trying to. I feel like there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about from. Here, let me
Monkey
pull
Forest.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That is exactly what it is. Did the War of Gods. Oh, we did this thing also. I'll get to the monkey thing. So we drove, our friend got us a dinner reservation and massage at Pitamaha, which is like this unbelievable resort in Ubud that, again, infinity pools, like, dinosaurs roaming the earth. We got this crazy massage. First dude massage of my entire life, and now I kind of will never go back.
These chicks have no strength.
No, their fingers like just bend too much. They give. Yeah. And this just dude with his,
Yeah, the girls are here are getting all the best massages.
That's right.
And the guys are getting the worst ones.
Just based on
These
pure
homophobic
homophobia.
guys are getting the worst massages because you're dumb homophobia.
But so we did that. We got that. We did a hike behind our resort, which again, like because it like went down, it was almost like you had to. I'm saying like a lot, but you had to kind of come down an entire mountain like by rope and shit.
Oh, wow.
So you had to descend some of it, and then some of it was trail. Then we saw these like wild pigs, all these different animals and stuff like that you just don't like. You don't run into in America, or at least in the wild.
What was it? Costa Rica. We went on a sloth and monkey tour. And we were like, "Do you ever get tired of seeing these monkeys?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, it's whatever." He goes, "But what I really want to see is a deer.
Yeah,
it would be so cool." We're like, "We have them in our backyard all the time." He's like, "No way." What? He's like, "Yeah, they're annoying actually.
Yeah,
they eat the plants." And he's like, "Wow."
It's wild to consider that exotic is relative.
Exotic is relative.
Yeah.
It's not. They're like, "Oh, we live in an exotic location." It's
Truly.
like, no, it's exotic is to America and Britain.
If you show, first of all, in Bali, I have never seen, you see some of those TikToks of like guys in Brooklyn holding their baby while on a Segway, and you're like, wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
In Bali, there's women on a motorized scooter with an infant in one hand, a 2-year-old sitting on the platform there, groceries hanging off their back, and they're weaving in and out of traffic
moped
with their one arm.
Wow.
And you're like, what, dude? How is it? Nobody's wearing. There's not even lanes. There's no traffic laws. It's all a suggestion. Nobody's wearing a helmet. It's just pure mayhem. Like they asked us if we wanted to rent scooters, and a friend of ours, I think, had gone to Bali and did that and crashed within 30 minutes of getting
Oh,
it.
really?
Like tore her whole leg up. Was like
they call it the the Thai tattoo.
Yes. Yeah.
All these Chads go out there and just fucking, I could go 90K.
Yes. Iwayan, our driver,
I've never done it. I'll figure
had
it out.
an open wound on his ankle.
Your driver did?
Our driver, and I just go, hey man, what's that over there? And he's like, if you look, everybody has this. He's like, because we ride scooters and you're bound to crash.
Wow.
He's like, there's no not crashing.
Yeah,
You're
every time you
eventually
see
gonna
like,
crash.
well, they all seem to get people know how to cross the street and stuff. And then you start noticing a lot of people with limps, just permanent limps. Yeah.
Oh, and every dog had like 11-inch nipples, and were just like laying on the side of the road. They'd get up, they'd be dragging their phalange nipples down the street. It was like, it was
Stray
so
dogs
disgusting.
are a thing. And then every time you see a puppy, you pick it up like, oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
And you're petting it like, there's fleas everywhere.
It's just completely taken over your arm. But you also realize you're like, that's why they eat dogs. Like,
They're like
they're
fish.
just everywhere.
They're like fish. Did you see any warungs?
What's that?
It's the kind of the way to eat with just like it looks like a pizza window, but with like a curtain behind it, and it's got different meats and stuff in there. Okay, maybe that's more rural.
No, that's cool though.
Yeah.
What is that like? Kind of those conveyor belt sushis? Like they kind of refill it and you open it.
Yeah,
up?
they'll come out with like a new dish, put the thing in, and take it out like a Whole Foods
that's
buffet.
cool.
But then just meat out for hours. You know,
yeah.
that's maybe where I had dog at
Yeah.
one of those. Because I couldn't quite understand what they were saying, and then they were serving dog, and I was like, no. And then I did have like a mixed meat stew.
Yeah.
And then it hit me later. I'm like, well, the meat would, if it's mixed, it'd be all the meats.
Yeah. One of those burgers that's like beef, pork, Angus, the whole thing, and you're like, fuck, they snuck a
Yeah,
dog
I grew
in
up
here.
kosher. I was like, burger, like hot dogs are supposed to be all beef. Like, no, that's a luxury for these non-Jews. It's like made with some beef. Yeah, the dogs are a real thing. The stray dogs.
Yeah, it was really.
Are you scared of them at all?
I was scared of getting bit, but they're so lethargic that it didn't really look like a threat.
I've heard that any of the aggressive ones just get beaten to death. So they're bred out of the circle, and then they're just known like they're scared of people.
Yeah,
because they'll just get kicked, whatever.
Yeah.
If they like growl, it's like no fucking way, not allowed. Like
Yes.
you're not a human. Know your place.
yeah. And this play Ubud is where we did the bulk of our trip. So all of this
Okay.
is kind of expanding over like probably a week, I guess,
Okay.
or so. So yeah, we did that. See all the dogs, all that stuff. We did this thing called patiking.
was that?
Or batiking, which is like painted fabric with wax and dye over it. And we just like it's like something that they do with their clothes and I guess some of their designs. But we went through that entire.
You guys
thing.
really got lost out there, huh? You really like dove in. I love it.
I'm a go with whatever guy. Like I will do whatever anybody wants to do. I don't say no to anything, especially when I'm in a different place.
Yeah.
And my wife is a planner, so we're perfect together. She's like,
yeah.
whatever you want. She's like, I was like, I'll do anything,
anything you wanna
especially
do,
if
like,
it's
yeah,
stuff that
whatever.
we can't do here.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll literally do anything. So
And also you got nowhere to be, so it's like, yeah, let's spend 2 hours on some class.
Exactly. And
Oh, so
you know,
cool.
this is kind of before algorithm, but even so, it's like I'm posting at like middle of the night hours, so it doesn't matter. It's like, you know, all that kind of stuff. It disconnected me in a good way from everything. But had it been now, I probably would have ruined the trip with, you know, scheduling posts and all that bullshit. But
yeah.
we ended up going to the monkey forest. We have two more stops in Ubud. We did the monkey forest where, you know, we went to the less. They said there's one where they're really aggressive and they steal, they're like
right?
they kind of like really get up in your face, and it's an immersive monkey experience.
Yeah.
And then there's another one where they're a bit kinder monkeys.
Weird.
There was also weirdly at the monkey forest we went to, at the cafe we got a beer from, they had an open mic there like the day after we left. And if it was there, I would have done it.
Really?
Yeah. I would have totally done it. Just to be like, oh, what the fuck?
I saw an open mic or a show anyway, show or open mic in Myanmar. Like my first week going for who knows how long. And then I was like, I don't want to bomb here and have that be my last set for months. No fucking way.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Last set for months would have been
Just
a
like,
tough one to
fuck,
hold
what
on
am I
to.
even going back to?
Yeah. So we're watching the monkeys, we're taking pictures. It's really cool. Like, they are more passive, but there's certainly some of them that are like grabbing bags, especially if you have food. Like one of them was trying to open my wife's bag a lot and was like trying to get all her stuff. And I saw, this is the hardest I've laughed, I think, in 10 years.
Wow, yeah.
In full 10 years, dude, is I watched this lady who is, middle America, whatever, and she's like, a monkey jumped on her shoulder, and she's like, Jeff, take a picture. There's a monkey on my shoulder. And her husband was like, oh my God, I can't wait. And he like starts to get his camera ready. And another monkey jumps on her shoulder. And she's like, oh my God, there's 2 of them. Take a picture quick. And as he's taking the picture, they start fucking on her head. They start literally banging on her shoulder and head. And this guy's taking a picture of these monkeys having full sex.
Greatest picture.
I almost asked him to like airdrop it, or like, could I please get a copy of that, dude? That is unreal.
Babe, remember we used to do that? Wow.
Yeah, we used to be exciting. You used to fuck me on tourist shoulders.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was
Those monkeys are wild. They tell you not to look them in the eye, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So then they come close, you got to look nearby them, but you want to keep tabbed on them because I don't want them like coming at you. But if you look at them like that, they're like, what the fuck? They just like, all right, sorry.
Well, and then a part of you feels like a bitch for like laying down to a monkey, even though strength-wise, obviously, monkeys are the superior species, but you still, as a human, as somebody, who is a part of society that has built buildings and created this infrastructure, you want to look a monkey in the eye and be like, you're nothing.
Yeah.
But you can't.
It's like your strength is nothing here. All you can do is build fences around this. Did you bring any of your guns or anything? You didn't, right? Maybe you guys are not that smart. Wow, that's fun. Yeah, I saw people taking people's milkshakes or their like lattes.
Yeah.
Because they know, not here, but I've heard in other countries. Oh, I got to tie that thing in again. They'll know how to trade them. I think in India, they'll like grab your glasses off and it's like food.
No kidding.
Yeah. And they know glasses bring you food. They know anything in a wrapper, like not a wrapper, like a plastic bag.
Yeah.
They're like, that's probably food in there. So when I was in Hong Kong, the guy was like, hey, don't bring any plastic bags here, even if it's just your shoes. It's like they'll think it might be food.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. They, that again, that's another one of those experiences.
It's cultural shit that you're like, okay.
Yeah.
That's not something I have to deal with.
Yeah.
It just kind of opens you up a little.
Well, and then also like just kind of wow from a animal perspective where you're just like, this is like monkeys. The only thing that does separate us is these societies that we've built. And if we were on kind of just an open field versus, it would be a huge problem.
Yeah. It'd be a real, monkeys would be a real issue in our lives.
It made me really appreciate, or at least be in awe of, in awe as well as bummed out by all the things that we've built over here. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, there's other ways to live and it doesn't seem that invasive and it seems like you can kind of coexist with a lot more if you actually try and put in the effort. Yeah. But also, it's pretty crazy that we bulldozed an entire natural land and just built these, hundreds of story fucking buildings and shit. Yeah.
So Ubud was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Oh, then we went to the zoo. We're big zoo people. We went to the Bali Zoo, and that was cool. I mean, we just got to see some of the animals that we didn't get to see naturally, which were like the elephants and things like that.
Oh, right.
Then to end our trip, I think this was like 2 or 3 nights. We went to the Gili Islands. I
always thought the Gilis were in Thailand. That's wrong. They're there.
Yeah, I think it's still considered part of Bali. It's definitely Indonesia.
Yeah. Okay.
It's off the coast of Bali. So there's 2 of them. One is a party island. Like it's kind of like the movie Couples Retreat, where there's one for like, spirituality and fun, and then there's one for like if you want to get your fuck on. Yeah. Like that's the island to go. And we went to Gili Air, which was the non-party, more chill. We stayed at the Grand Sunset Gili. But the boat that took us out there, dude, it's like we were trying to escape Cuba. Like it was so run down. There's holes in it. There's like the engines. We find out in the middle of the water that the boat that took the group before us blew up and killed a new husband and wife. Blew his fucking leg clean off his body. Or it didn't kill the wife. It killed just the groom. Blew his leg completely off his body because he was standing near the engine that blew up, that exploded, and it killed him. on the way to the place that they were also going in the boat after them on our honeymoon. And then like, dude, those boats, like Nicole, as we're at the dock, she's just like, I don't know, man. Like, this looks really bad. And I was like, do you want to rent a jet ski? Like, I don't know how else we get there. Do we not go?
That's the thing. It's like, I remember reading about a few airlines. Don't take this airline.
Yeah.
It was like one of like in Myanmar, like take Myanmar Air, but not Myanmar Airline. I'm like, what? And then you forget once you're there. I'm like, now I don't have a phone. Another one was, don't take the Indonesian ferries.
Yeah.
They're notoriously bad. Yeah. And then you're like, well, I'm going to this next island. And you're like, hey, can I not take a ferry? And they're like, what? That's the way to get there. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I guess I'm taking a Indonesian ferry.
Yeah.
Some of them sink, and then it's like too far between islands. You're dead. Plus the current.
Dude.
Wow.
It was really something. But then like when we got to that island was very cool because it felt like you were almost shipwrecked. Like, obviously there's hotels and stuff like that, but it felt very kind of like you're kicking around on almost an unfurnished island that seems very like just, casual, relaxing,
That's
all
cool.
that stuff. Everybody was Australian because that is like their
Australians
place.
love Bali.
Love it.
Love it.
I mean, it's basically they're like Key West. They can
They
get
go
there
for cheap
so
beers.
easily. Yeah.
Cheap beers, but everywhere has better Coke than Australia.
Yeah.
And buckets. They love a bucket. That's more Thailand.
But that scared me is like the Gili Islands, I had heard that they were big on psychedelics and that you could do psychedelics, but it's still a Muslim island. And they were telling my wife to cover up when we left the hotel grounds. Like it was like kind of not intense, but there's a whiff of what, of
Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're like, there's Australians that are like, I'll sell you a joint, like whatever.
And they're not that violent. They've had a couple terrorist attacks on themselves.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think more uprisings, but not Islam based. But it's the biggest Islamic country, and I think the reason, no Arabs. No Arabs is what I was saying. Maybe it's not Islam, maybe it's Arabs. Maybe it's that region. Maybe it's not the religion at all.
So either way, they everybody was Australian.
Yeah.
I showed you the picture of the decomposing cat that my wife just demanded to care for the full days that we were on there. Like, dude, this thing had like no eyes. Look at it.
What do you mean?
Like ants growing off of it. Like, this is just, I don't even know why I have all these pictures.
It's alive?
Yeah, this thing is alive, and there is no world where it looks at. Like, that's a dead animal, right?
Yeah.
But it's just moving slightly.
Yeah.
So my wife and I made friends though with this Australian older couple, and this is so funny, man, because it gives you an international perspective on like American politics. This was September of 2016, heading into November of 2016, Hillary versus Trump, and just to hear Australians and foreign perspective on it was just like. Was interesting because all of them just from what they are fed or see or whatever, they're like, this guy Trump, they're like, there's no way, right? Like, there's just no way. And I, being a road comic, I'm trying to explain to him that he's gonna win.
Yeah, the people who write the stories you read are Jews, and they are not. They're Harvard-educated Jews, and they're more upscale, and they don't meet people from Dayton,
right? Yeah, at all.
So they can't imagine a world where anyone would vote for that.
Yeah. I'm getting the temperature of the country. And,
that's interesting to get an outside perspective of that shit.
Yeah, so that was cool. It was kind of like the guy we were talking to almost looked like tan Phil Leotardo from The Sopranos. Like, he had just like slick back silver hair, very like, an Australian accent that almost didn't fit with his face and body, but they were so kind and so nice, and we just like hung out with them for 3 days. We got dinner with them.
Cool.
We hung out with them, like
Also,
and they were like,
are you
60.
normally like that or no?
No.
Yeah, it's something I found after like 7-8 days of being alone or just with someone that you're like, oh, now my loneliness is kicking up.
Yeah.
Before, I have no loneliness. We're at comedy clubs. We're talking to people and friends constantly. Like, I'm craving to be alone.
Yeah.
And then after a while, in China it was like that. I was like alone. By the time I got to Hong Kong, I was like, what are we all doing? What's the scene? Let's go. Let's go out.
Yeah. I feel that way. And it's funny because we were technically with each other, but we both were like, let's like make friends. Let's see. Wow. And I am not a vacation friend guy. I don't go on couples trips and make friends with other couples. I have no interest in having dinner with you.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it might have been that like we've been out for a while, And now these people are so kind. They're older. They're not people we would be friends with in the first place. It was kind of a perfect, almost like
Where are you guys
little
from?
dalliance.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What's it like there?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a broad question.
But like everywhere, they were selling mushrooms. They were selling mushrooms dipped in acid.
What?
Which I had never done acid at that point, so I was really scared.
Mushrooms
and
dipped in acid.
And I also
Wow.
was scared. I was scared about doing a hallucinogen in a place where that's like heavily illegal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be caught in the middle of a trip and be confronted with an authority figure.
My friend
and have
got
to talk
arrested
out.
chasing after Benji Aflalo naked. He was like chasing after in his apartment, and then he's like, "Ugh," and Benji's like, "I'm leaving," and then he didn't know how much time passed, and then he was like, "No, let me go find this guy." And it could have been an hour later. So he's running around West Hollywood naked. Cops picked him up. Like, no, you're on Fountain, you know. And they put him in jail, but now he's in jail on acid.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, tomorrow when you're sober, come back to jail. It's like you're in the worst possible place in jail.
Oh, God, that sucks.
Yeah. So that's a pretty. So you wouldn't take the acid?
No,
Take the mushrooms?
No, I didn't take anything. I got scared. I didn't even smoke weed. I was smoking cigarettes because I actually fiended weed that bad by the end of it.
Damn.
That I was like, I gotta like do something. So I was like just ripping butts, and it was. I threw up from it. I got like actually sick from smoking cigarettes.
Let me ask you a question about this place. Because now we're coming to this end of your trip.
Yeah.
Any tips you would give anybody if they're going, or that you would tell yourself? I wish I had brought this or done this or spent more time, less time. I don't know, whatever.
I actually, this is like one of the few trips, and it's probably because my wife put the whole thing together, but it was done proper the whole way through. Like none of it was a fuck up.
You brought sandals?
Brought
flip-flops,
sandals.
okay.
The one thing, actually, you know what? Put sunblock on your back when you're going to snorkel with turtles.
Nice.
Because I forgot.
Oh yeah,
and I
you're
just
right
had,
there, up, it's just facing up, and you're looking down.
I had like a back of the heel new sneaker blister just on the hump of my back. It was awful.
Wow.
It was so, and I was just like in pain for 2 or 3 days after that. So just to close it out, this is how it ended, which is kind of the most interesting part of the whole trip. Is so on the way back. 2 weeks are done. We're getting ready to leave. We're all set. It's raining, drizzling, or whatever. Delays of the flight. What the fuck is going on? They cancel our flight out of nowhere. It turns out that it's because it's a union rule that the people couldn't fly that much back-to-back hours.
Yeah.
They had to stop overnight, and then they had to pick it up the next day. They tried to act as though it was an act of God, that it was the weather
don't
that
have to pay,
diverted
yeah.
everything, so they didn't have to make good on the insurance.
They always do that.
I organized a sit-in in the Qatar Airlines office of the Doha or of the Bali airport. Me and 20 Spaniards from Spain sat in the office, refused to move until I got them to write us all notarized letters that this was not an act of God and our insurance should be honored. And I got them to sign it for all of us.
Wow.
And it literally, people from Spain, like shaking their fists, being so fired up, thanking me, all this shit. So my wife violates Sharia law in Doha and almost like gets killed. So we have this letter or whatever. We're not going back to fucking Indonesia at any time soon. So my wife takes the letter, goes straight to the Qatar Airlines thing. The guy shakes my hand, goes, "Hello, Mrs. Cannon." She grabs his hand and shakes him, like just fucking raw dog hand there. And he's like just a very clear violation of their religious rules. And he kind of like, and I'm like, "Please go by the gate." I'm like it looked like there was going to be a thing. I was like, "I need you to go. Don't read a book. Just don't vote. Go over there. Look normal." And I talked that guy into giving both of us $15,000 pods, business class pods from Doha to New York for the flight back, 13 and a half hours, where I drank like 20-year whiskey the entire time. Didn't sleep a wink because I wanted to live it up. I'm eating every meal, every snack, ordering, blacking out, watching Silver Linings Playbook, you name it, dude.
Wow.
In a complete laydown, unbelievable, brand new Qatar Airlines
Wow, that's a nice airline too. Up there,
Yeah,
wow, and pods.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What a good honeymoon.
Yeah. We ended up coming back a day late, but because of that and because
Sick.
of my sit-in,
Worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got that.
'Cause
Oh,
if
and
you're
they
like-
put us up in a hotel in the airport, and we made friends with like a Lithuanian couple.
If you're like, we can go for 14 days or 15. If we stay an extra day, We'll have to pay for an extra food. That's $7. But we'll get pods and a free hotel. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, the 15 then. Let's do the 15.
Done.
We do have to make a trip to the airport and then right back. Like, yeah, the 15. Wow.
Yeah, it was sick. But highly recommend all 3 of those places. It does seem like those are the 3 spots to go in Bali. Again, if you're coming off of a long flight, pamper yourself those first few days. Take care of yourself. Rest up. Put yourself in the middle of a bud for the bulk of your journey because that's right in the woods, right in the thick of everything. You
It's
get to
so
see.
different than the oceans.
So different. It's you're in the jungle.
It
dude.
seems like an island. It's massive.
Yes.
It's not like, it's not like, it's bigger than Hawaii, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know why I
I'm
said
not
that.
sure,
But like you go in and you're like, you're in.
Yeah.
You're not near the ocean.
No, it is the thick woods.
Jungle.
Yeah, and then the Gili Islands were just like each place was remarkably different from each other and kind of perfectly planned out in terms of how we should have both started the trip, bulked the trip, and then came down from the trip.
Yeah, because people come back from vacations and they go right back to work the next day. They
Yes.
get back at like 7 p.m. They go back, and it's like tough. It's almost like you want to land Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
So you can have all day Sunday to chill.
Yeah.
Recuperate almost.
Yeah.
And then go back to work. But going to a beach to end is like kind of that.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, the day I flew home, 24 hours in flight, like I'm hammered from drinking all this whiskey. We get home in the morning. That night, I had like my Access Live taping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hadn't done
Wow.
stand up in 2 weeks. I'm like half hungover. I'm fat faced from the fucking honeymoon.
Ended up not mattering. But yeah, big at the time. Ended up
Yeah.
not mattering.
Not at all.
Wow, that's awesome. That's what a fucking trip, dude.
Yeah, it was a trip of a lifetime, truly.
Damn. Way to go. Way to fucking do something nice instead of going to fucking New York.
Right.
Go
Yeah.
to like the woods and fucking whatever.
Something different, and honestly, all credit goes to my wife for that because I
doing
would have
it.
I'd been like, let's go to Hawaii, some hack shit.
Yeah. Do you have any travel tips? I ask everybody this. It's okay if you don't have one, but just a thought if you have one of like when you travel, you should do this.
I always take edibles before I get on a plane
That's a good one. Edibles.
because everybody's going to tell you pack light, do whatever,
Yeah,
all this stuff.
that's the massive one.
Yeah.
Pack light.
I am edibles before a flight, and I take a tremendous amount because that's the only
Get
way
you
I'm
all the
going
way
to get
through.
some sleep, and it's going to get me there.
Yeah. So
So
you can be high the whole way.
Yes.
Kinda. Especially long flights.
Yeah.
That's
So
a good
like
way.
before
So you're not cranky and fucked up. You're like, oh, I just came off a great trip.
I had to just fly. I flew early in the morning the other day down to Tampa, and I took 200 milligrams as I arrived to the airport. So by the time I get through security, the march is on.
Yeah.
The warmth is approaching, and so I start to feel it. Whatever, you get yourself a coffee. I actually don't get a coffee because I'm trying to sleep. It's early, and I just like zone out, listen to a pod, an NBA pod, and then
out.
I'm out.
One tip for that is be careful how early you take it. Me and Nick Thune did it on the way back from Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
We're like taking the shuttle, and we were trying to do the thing of like into the first 3 letters of your city, and we were like kept looking at, we were like copying off each other, like what are you putting for this? Like, oh my god! And we just like, it was so hard to do it. We're like, what the fuck? So I say, as you get to the airport.
Yes. Yeah,
so
yeah.
once you get through security, as you're boarding, it's like, here it is.
Oh yeah.
And set an alarm, time to board.
Yeah.
So if you wander off, like, oh shit, my alarm, time to go.
Perfect.
Anyway, Mike Cannon, thank you. I am Mike Cannon on Instagram. He's on the Christy Chaos podcast all the time now.
Yes,
That's
sir.
new, huh?
That's cool. Yeah. On
Yeah.
the road with you in New England.
Yeah, that already happened.
It
was great. What a fun time. 3
So
shows at the
fun.
Wilbur.
That's sick.
Oh, it is sick. Yeah.
That's
wild,
real sick.
Wild
Damn.
time for comedy. I'm not even like a famous person. I'm not like those guys. So yeah, it's pretty wild. You did a great job.
I'm adding a second show at a yoga studio in Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah, guys, check them out. And again, obliterate that fucking picture. Obliterate it with comments. Check out the Patreon. Damn, I haven't. Let's just call it You Be Trippin. If not, it's Ari Shaffir. And then we're gonna send someone around the world. That's what I'm doing with my Patreon.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We're gonna pick a kid out. And we're gonna send him around the world for a year.
That's excellent.
Some gap year kid. And we're gonna have him try to check in for.
Dude, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, try to check in every like month or so if you can. Try to find a computer at a hostel, register a new Gmail account.
What you have to do is you have to outfit this kid like he's on the show alone. So you have to give him batteries and cameras, to vlog himself.
No, I want him to disappear.
Damn. All right.
I want him to disappear.
Have you seen Alone though?
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah. I got that. It's like make all this stuff, but then you're working and
Yeah,
it's
that's
this
a good
weird
point.
thing. What I want him to do, or her, is to just get lost.
Yeah.
And then, but if they can, once in a while, find a postcard or fucking whatever. That's another thing. If you were sent a postcard from somewhere, I'll read it on the Patreon. But
It's gonna be like the videos from Interstellar.
Yeah.
He's gonna age 7
just
years.
once in a
between
while,
them.
try to check in, let us know what you're up to, but just get lost out there.
That's a good idea. I love that.
I gotta find an email address for them to send in applications for this because I'm excited about the idea of it.
It's a great
and
idea.
so Southeast Asia is definitely going to be up there on the possibilities, if not like South America. Anyway, Mike Cannon, thank you very much. Go to Bali, everybody. Hey, everybody. Well, that's the episode. Thank you very much, Mike Cannon, for coming town and telling us about it. Man, it really brought me back to Indo, bro. What a wild place. I mean, I got to do an episode myself. Who's going to interview me? Oh my God. Yeah, that place is fucking wild. And Mike really, ow, that hurt. That hurt. Ari, why don't you just do this in a fucking studio like everybody else? You're hurting yourself for a fucking podcast outro that only 5% of people even listen to. Bandit, come. But thank you very much. Everybody, watch your special, Traumatized Animal, right now. And tell him something in there in the comments, like, I don't know, something about that fucking emotional time he had, how he invented his own religion. Or pooped outside. I need your help, you guys. Subscribe on Spot. Bandit, come. Bandit, come. Come here, buddy. Show the people. Come here. Yeah, leave him a comment. And by the way, so if you're subscribed on YouTube or Spotify, leave a comment on YouTube. And I want to know who your Trippy Awards, because we got to do this, I guess, January, we'll start doing the nominations. So leave me best guest so far and best trip. And then also any other Trippy Award. Let's do some awards. Categories you think would be good. Leave it in the comments. Fuck. Heather will go through them. Why don't you ever chase anymore? Come see me on the road, the farewell tour. It's on sale right now at arishaffir.com. We got Adrian is coming to these. Adrian Appalooza, the Dark Queen. Check it out. I produced it. I'm very proud of it. She's coming with me to the following dates: Pittsburgh, Providence in January, Nashville in February. In March, she'll be with me in Schaumburg, Atlanta, and Portland. I guess that's it. Man, she might come with me to Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and Anchorage also. She won't be with me in Anchorage. Bennett, come here, buddy. Go to arishaffir.com right now for tickets. And Mike Cannon, you can get tickets right now at MikeCannon.com. Stanford, Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Houston, Pottstown, PA, LA at the Comedy Store, Pasadena, Baltimore, Maryland, Toronto at the Comedy Bar, Seattle, Chandler, and Boston, Massachusetts. Get tickets at, could it possibly be MikeCannon.com? I mean, I really should have looked at it. Damn, MikeCannonComedy.com. Bandit, come on, buddy. Let's go. Yeah, leave me any fucking tips. And guys, also talk in the comments. Someone needs to start a fucking Reddit subreddit for this podcast where people can trade ideas for travel and stuff and just like give each other tips that aren't in the travel blogs exactly. We got coming episodes. Wonton Don will be next week. I'm sorry, but I already promised Mike Cannon because of his special that I'll have it out. So Wonton Don, you're next week. And then give what you're thankful for. Give the places you're thankful for next week in the comments for Thanksgiving. That'll be fun. Let's get interactive. Today's episode is produced by Your Mom's House Network. Is edited expertly by Alan Caffrey. We got to do an episode for me. I got one with Guatemala coming. Got to interview some me on someone's. Oh, and I just did a great one with Paul Morrissey. I think I might put that out in January. Or maybe a year wrap up. Maybe it'll be at the end of the year. But really where it got me started traveling. Me and Paul Morrissey took this trip to Switzerland and we made a deal with each other. And it really changed the course of my life. And you guys are going to love that one. Changed the course of both of our lives, to be honest. And it really, we'll talk on that podcast about why this podcast even exists. This whole series even exists. Great first season so far, I believe. What did I love about Indonesia? In Ubud, I like the monkeys. I got laid in Bali. That was pretty nice, actually. Bennett, 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 come here. Yeah, it was the only time I got laid. Got one BJ in Thailand, Chiang Mai. Only time I got laid in the whole Southeast Asia trip, 4 months. Also wasn't masturbating at the time. Forgot about that. No masturbation, no fucking. 2 comes. No, I came more than once with the chick I fucked. All over the island of Bali. Indonesia fucking ruled, you guys. I had the best fucking time. I touched a Komodo dragon. I touched a monkey. I smoked some of the worst weed in the world outside Australia. And Washington Square Park. And it just, you guys gotta go. I'd say it's one of the 2 places that's kind of accessible to Westerners. It's scary, but not so scary. It'd be Bali in Indonesia. Bandit. No. Hey. Come, Bandit. Whoa. Not interested, huh? All right, well, fuck off. Bali in Indonesia, and then really, not even Bangkok, but Bangkok and Chiang Mai in Thailand. I don't think anywhere else in Indonesia is that accessible. And I mean, I guess like Saigon. But people don't really go there. They do, but it's not a first stop, Saigon. Bangkok, Chiang Mai is, and Bali, all over the island of Bali, I'd say. If you're looking to go to Southeast Asia or Asia in general and you're a little bit scared, those are great cities. And then also what that offers you is places to go outward from there to really get lost. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mike Cannon. Until next week with the Wonton Don. I'm Ari Shaffir, unless I have to delay it again, but I don't think I will be. When did he say he's out of town? We got Jeffrey Osmus coming about Israel. We got Wonton Don. We got one of me, maybe Dragos, this Romanian comedian that we did one in Romania about Tokyo. We got to do a road one. I got a couple of those. And one with me in Guatemala that we did in Gold Coast, Australia. We got some good ones coming. Don't forget to tune into the ones that I do because I'm a pretty good traveler. You should tune into the ones that I'm a guest on. All right, leave your trippy awards. Bye, guys. Till next week. So long. Oh, wait. No, I don't know how to say it in Bahasa.